Hey everybody, I wanted to share a quick thing I learned, hopefully learned, but as I'm preparing to finish up and launch my personal website, there's a couple of CSS things that kind of I came across that I thought might be cool to share. And yeah, I am absolutely no CSS guru, but I do like CSS, and a lot of these tips were inspired by Kevin Powell, who hosts an amazing CSS YouTube channel. So I wanted to show this effect that I have. This is my hero section of my website, and let's jump into Figma really quick, and let's start here. So here's my Figma file, which is chaos. But if you look over here, that's the hero section. You might be thinking, Jake, that's like whatever, pretty normal. Let's now turn this off. Oh shoot, let's now turn this off. This kind of effect I kind of call the gel effect, and I was thinking, how can I make this feel more cohesive? Because I have this gradient in the background, I have this orange button, I have these kind of like 3D buttons. How do I make that feel more cohesive? So then I came up with this idea like, okay, I can take another gradient, put it on top, but that's not enough, because that is this. That's terrible, right? Just normal. Then I got to thinking, well, I can use filters, right? I can use blend modes. And I came across overlay in this case. And I thought this seems to work pretty cool. And the reason why it's cool, in my opinion, is because this overlay affects everything, right? So if you look at this button, that button now has a bit of an orange shadow, like orangey shadow. The borders turn a little different color. These guys turn a bit different. The text turns different. So it affects everything, including the image and all the contents. So I was thinking to myself, okay, how do I do that in good old CSS? Let me bring up the other stuff here. And the way I did that in the end was I watched a couple of Kevin Powell videos on z-indexing to kind of understand that better. Do I remember much? No, but I do remember that z-indexing is very important in terms of layering your content in CSS. So how I ended up doing this was I created the hero section without the gel effect. And then I went ahead and thought, okay, what is a way I can, semantically, like without having more HTML content, let me use a pseudo element, right, within the CSS. So it's clean. Since it's decorative, it's not an essential piece of content. And so I went ahead and made a pseudo element, absolutely positioned this. Inset, I believe this is also I learned from Kevin. Instead of doing left 0, top, right, bottom 0, you can do inset, which is like a shorthand, I think, for that. And then I went ahead and made a linear gradient, which I think is just top, bottom. And then this is the secret sauce here, the mix blend mode. So what I'm doing here is using a CSS property of mix blend mode to achieve that same thing from Figma. So here, for instance, like we can try something else, like what's a blend mode? I'm so bad at remembering these. Difference, maybe? Let's say difference. Save that. Oh my goodness, see? Horrible. That's a bad example. Or for instance, like what's the negative one? Negative, no, shoot. Inverse. Color dodge, let's try that one. Mamma mia. Look at that. Horrible. But that's why you play around with it and then until you find something you like. In my case, it was overlay. And what's cool about this is, like I said, it's affecting everything, right? It's affecting the colors, the text, and the image itself too. So the conundrum I had was when I did this, I was like, great, this is terrible because look, nothing is selectable. Nothing is clickable. Why? Well, because my z-index is 3 for my pseudo element, and my z-index is 2 for my hero wrapper, which is the section, which means that the pseudo element is above all the content, which is the hero wrapper. And then I discovered, how do I solve this? I don't remember what I did. Maybe I Googled it, maybe I did ChatGPT, I can't remember. But then I came across the pseudo element, the property, which is pointer events. And pointer events is a way where you can actually say none for, let's say an example, if you have an anchor link, in this case, you can click that. And if your property is set to pointer events none, well, now you can't click that. So what I did was I thought, let me actually apply this to the entire pseudo element, which means that effectively I got the look of the pseudo element, but it's now basically invisible when it comes to accessibility, meaning like it's not interfering with the content beneath it, which should be selectable and clickable. So that's kind of how I did that. And I think it's kind of an interesting effect, and it's something you might consider for your next project. There is one thing that I did get feedback on in terms of this, which is that maybe for my image, instead of having me be filtered, what I could do is go over here and say, hey, for this, I'll go z-index 4, which means I'll be above. But what's cool as well is in CSS, right, you can do filtering on images, right? So in this case, the image now looks like it's not really working. What I can do is I can adjust the brightness. And let's say I can go here and say 1.2, and then you can stack them, saturate. I don't know why it's doing that, it's kicking me off. We can do 1.2 as well. And that works. That works, I think. That's kind of cool. Problem is, which I haven't solved, is how, as you can see now, I'm one z-index above the content. So the big conundrum with this is that I basically cannot be in color while getting that gel effect on the other elements because, well, z-index stacking. So anyway, that's about it. I just wanted to share that effect, which I thought was, oh my goodness, did you see that janky animation? What happened there? Oh, I guess it fixed itself. Oh, something to think about and something I learned on the way with this project. This is a super long video. I hope you enjoyed that. Bye.